I have one more poem. It's a little bit of a longer poem. This is the first time I've ever read it, so take a deep breath. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Buckle up. It's kind of a howl poem. It's kind of a look at the abyss poem. It's kind of a why go to work when the world is ending, but you have to eat, so you gotta go to work poem. And it's called Fugue 184, Ekpyrosis, the Watershed, and it's for Samuel Delaney. So I go seeking the crystal wave in the cold night, the tree below the piling watershed, the altars made of chalk, the moons a child keeps in a drawstring bag. So the river surges in the long planet of night, and the banks rise like silver steps. Here saints rattles. Here's the tooth from the regicide's wife. Midnight opens into a book of light, and the book of light opens to hills following hills. They do not burn. They are fossilized forests that are tokens to a game played in the lost language of time. They are a wave in the mirror of night. They are a wave in the mirror of night, which is not the city at all, which is there with its crowding houses, where if I were to say a mist leaps from the utterance's ashes, and we were to drink that ash and water in the final dream of difference before the morning of fire, if the hospital is the university, as the prison is the train, over the Buffalo River running, where it is entombed and running to meet other waters, in a gathering with everything it has been made to take. And if I should say everything streaming from me will be dissolved into dirt and water running to other waters that has run from you as our flesh streams and will stream, and if the final dawn arrives like a river or train you enter to take your place, if we stay in this long and silver night, the moon does not need to break open like a great green blister. The string holding the lemon of the sun aloft will not have to fray if we stay with this exhaustion and into the waters of this city, with the deranged molecules of the Buffalo River, into the swift and drowning Niagara, into the swift and drowning ashes. Into the swift and drowning ashes, going to Buffalo's Golden Corner for half and half, putting the car in drive, hands where they always arrive on the wheel to work, in a river of Buffalo's lake-blown rain, which begins to gently, finally, tug at your boots as it dives toward a storm grate, as you walk down Delavan, as the sun rises, the sun becomes more silver, as you pick up the sponge and apply it to the clock face of yesterday's plate, as in the cellars of a mountain a private dawn arrives, as the martyrs representatives of the state turned into unmarked tombs tremble, the shower you took already soaking your clothes as you glance wildly around the kitchen at a tomato on your cutting board as big as a small pumpkin, as you think of them in the holy shell of their dreams down the hall, but it is too late. You have to go as the rivers below the river meet and rise in a silver welter, as the sky begins to ring as the river you are shedding lids, wrappers, cellophane, and carbon, hair, prayers, and a look away from what is to come as you arrive at the gates of an unholy planet. In the horses in the river, and the pounding of the water, and punching in the digits of the clock, and cutting stems off 700 broccoli bunches, wrist by wrist by wrist, in the foam exploding over what it makes the shore, and hit that vocal smooth over the top of the tablet that says everything is going fine in this transaction, in the colorless candle of dawn, in the glycerin taking and refracting, in the soft rolling away, the peeling apart of color from color and array, in the time already severed into the now, in the way that task app's ding presses the sweaty hand into the hypnotic wheel of the blender, in the deer and the river and the hare and the sprinting of the calcified bear, and lugging 40 pounds of carrots through cradles full of scarecrows in the IKEA in the mineral heart of the moon, in the water that is leaving this earth, in the showers of ice chips and gassing up a chainsaw behind the banks of the armored insects of the state, in the ocean touching the ocean, in the ocean beneath the sea, in checking the stats and ferrying the meds and tossing out the bag glossy with what a body could not contain, in all one's beautiful nest of thoughts, of the tides of one's feelings, paid as a wage in someone else's dream, snatched at and slung back in the driver's seat under the two close cars of a parking lot, in the recombinant currents, the water main bursting what had been safe into the cataracts of fire, the burning rivers of time, the burning lakes and hills of time, the jumble of letters and keys, millions of fingertips spatter into the dawn that breaks through the dawn, the river that breaks the dawn that breaks through the river, and the empire of time. Clock in and now, in the mounds of sawdust, at last. Clock in and out, so the waters of the grassy self rise, as work makes blind the steps and banks, as the endlessly user-tested celestial body dilates with the light of cash, as the banks give way and the endlessly dead stream glittering oil from every pore. Clock in and out on the wafer of a lens, on the punch posted on the wall, the phone flung by the bed through a slip of paper authenticated by the boss. Clock in and out while the whole good world bleeds. Clock in and out hungry and in need. One engine winds down and another fills with fire for the forced double where the plant runs on both sides of life. Clock in and out while evicted intelligence try to find a language for a no that lasts. In the rising tides of shadows and water breaking everywhere, spreading blankets in the box van, sweating sex and children and laughter in the rivets which fly down the line, learning the codes of exhaustion and the devices of escape, holding the steering wheel lightly on a thinning ribbon between bridges of water, between sleep and sleep under a burning bulb of cash. Clock in and out in a self that is pouring in a mattress, that is burning in the municipality, that is burning in the empire of time. All right, thank you.